So, Assalamu alaikum, everyone. The last class of P1 for 2024 exam. So now I'll keep the language as English so that people who are outside of Pakistan can also understand it easily. Now let's go over this paper, which is 2023. So this whole series of paper, I'll focus on 2023, 2022, 2021 as much as possible. Now, keep in mind, all these papers are there accessible in your Google Classroom. And also, some of the papers are also uploaded on YouTube. So let's look at this first question, the first paper. Now, this question I want to focus on, that is, the question was about write down the fraction of 3 by 3 square that is shaded. So this is the shaded part, this was shaded, and this much was shaded. And I think this one was shaded, something like that. So now this thing goes over here, that becomes 1 square. This thing goes over here, that becomes 2 square. This is 3 squares. So there are a total of 9 squares. So the answer is 3/9. Now, one thing I want to emphasize is that do not reduce the fraction unless and until the examiner asks you to reduce it. Keep that in mind. Now, the next thing that I want to focus on is this operation of mathematics, that is BODMAS, BODMAS, bracket of division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. So now over here, insert just one set of brackets to make the calculations correct. So over here, 9 is written. And this is 3 plus 5 into 2. So 5 into 2 is 10. But if I do 5 into 2, 10, 3 plus 10 is 13. 13 minus 7 does not equal to 9. So therefore, we have to insert a pair of bracket, and that bracket is inserted over here. 8 into 2 is 16. 16 minus 7 is 9. In part B, insert plus, minus, multiply to make the calculations correct. So this is 3, this is 5, there is a multiplication, 15. 15 minus 2 is 13. 13 plus 7 is 20. Some basic math. This one is about symmetry. So this part was drawn for you. And you have to draw the other part. So that goes like this. And this is, yes, I want to focus on this one, ratio question. A rope is cut into 3 pieces with lengths in the ratio 3:5:4. The length of the shortest piece of rope is 180. Find the length of the longest piece. So there are 2 ways of doing this question. That is comparing the shortest and the longest. So 3 is for the shortest, 5 is for the longest. 3:5, that's a ratio. 180 is for the shortest, so longest is x. Cross multiply, you get the value as 3 ones are 3 into 60. 60 into 5, that is 300. So we get the answer over here, that is 300. Now the other method is find the total length of the rope. This is linked to the second method. 3 plus 5 plus 4 is 12. Therefore, 3/12, that means 1/4 of the total is 180. So 1/4 of total is 180. Therefore, total is 180 into 4, that is 720. So the second method is for doing the first part, that's 5 out of 12 of 720. That comes out to be 300. And this one we have done a lot of transformation. If it's about rotation, the base becomes the height becomes the base. So this is a rotation 90-degree clockwise about the origin. How do I know that? If it's about the origin, the coordinates flip and the new y coordinate changes sign. If it is about any other point, there would be some addition or subtraction in it. This rule will not be followed as it is. There would be some other change. So now, what do we have? It's a rotation 90-degree clockwise about origin, and that is the answer. Now, let's look at something like this question. Now, this is also a nice question that says Ali keeps a record of the computer game he plays. Out of the first 6 games, Ali wins 4. Out of the first 20 games, Ali wins 13. Now, the key word is first. We are already talking about 6 games, and we are talking about the wins, that's 4. And then we are talking about 20 games, and the wins are 13. So why talk about the first 6 when we already have the first 20 data? That's a lot of data. So use this result to find the best estimate for the probability that Ali will not win the next computer game. Probability Ali wins the computer game 13 over 20, does not win 1 minus 13 over 20, that is 7 over 20. Similarly, over here, it says a spinner spun n times. The spinner lands on red 14 times. The relative frequency of the spinner on red is 0.2. Now, this word relative frequency, that simply means probability, nothing more than that. Find the value of n. Now, frequency, relative frequency or probability is out of 1. That means out of 1, the probability is 1/5. Or even if you want to write, you can say out of 5, the probability is 1 in ratio terms. Therefore, out of n, this is 14. Again, cross multiply, and that's the heart and soul of arithmetic. That is cross multiplication, and that is ratio. And you find the answer as 70. Another question. The question says the bearing of Ming field from Lenton. So this is Ming field. It's not drawn. This is what I've drawn. Calculate the bearing of Lenton from midfield. My bad. I mean, the diagram was drawn. Since I have so much color on it, it's not obvious. So the bearing of M from L is 156. So this is 156. Calculate the bearing of Lenton from Ming field. So do not hurry. Just because it's of 1 mark doesn't mean it's just a simple subtraction. It could be more than that. If this is 156, this is 24. So 360 minus 24, that is the answer. That's one approach. The other approach is this much is 120, 120 plus 156, that's 336, that's the answer. Now, what else is there? We have this thing, that is on a map, the distance between Lenton and Ming field is 4.5. The actual distance between Lenton and Ming field is 9 kilometers. Centimeters, kilometers. Of course, this is a map of Pakistan, something like this. A small centimeter length of road will mean much more in kilometers. So that is called scaling. Find the scale of the map in the form 1:n. Now, people talk about this question a lot. When we are talking about centimeters to kilometers, and we are talking about 1:n, it's necessary that we should have centimeters on both sides. So 9 kilometer into 1000, that is 9,000 meter, multiplied by 100. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is 5 zeros, that much centimeter. So now 1 centimeter is 90 divided by 4.5. And this comes out to be 1:20,000. And then there is this basic algebra, simple arithmetic sequence, nothing special. And this one, the question says OMN is a sector of a circle center O. ON is 20 centimeter and the area of the sector is 30 pi. So radius is 20. Area of sector is theta over 360 into pi r square. This is 30 pi. This is x over 360. So instead of x, instead of theta as a symbol, we have to write x. This is pi into 20 into 20. Just the simple calculation, x comes out to be 27 degrees. When we talk about standard form and we are talking about difference, add or subtract, the powers has to be the same. Now, Saturn is 5.7 into 10 to the power 26. Venus is 4.9 into 10 to the power 24. So what I do is that out of this 26 zeros, I take out 2 zeros on the sideline and then 24 over here. I take this 100, multiply with 5.7, that becomes 570. Now the powers are the same. I can do the subtraction. 570 minus 4.9 is 565.1. So this is 565.1 into 10 to the power 24, but this is not in the standard form, because for the standard form, A should be lesser than 10 and greater than or equal to 1. So I have to write this thing as 5.651 into 10 to the power 2 into 10 to the power 24. So 565 is basically this much into 100. Now this 10 to the power 2, 10 to the power 24 adds up, and this comes out to be 5.61 10 to the power 26, and that's the answer. Basic thing, and this thing is about congruency. This was also discussed in class. Radius and radius is the same. Tangents drawn from an external point to a circle are equal in length. This is a common point. So side, side, side. That is the rule for this. So let me just write over here, side, side, side. This is fx, f inverse, nothing special, nothing special. Yes, this question, a lot of people ask about this question. That is, the attendance at a cricket match is 36,000, correct to the nearest 1,000. So whatever is it nearest to, just take half of that value. The smallest 1,000 is 1,000, because lesser than 1,000 would be 999. So the smallest 1,000, add and subtract half of it, that is 500. Write down the maximum, actually no, the original question is write down the minimum number of people at the cricket match. So 36,000 minus 500 is 35,500, that's the answer. And if it was asking for the upper bound, we would take 36,000 plus 500 is 36,500. But we know that if we take this value, it would round to 37,000. So therefore, just take one lesser, because it's about a person. So you cannot half him, you cannot quarter him. So 36499, that's the answer. Now keep in mind, this will be used in the next part. The number of males attending the match is 21,000, correct to the nearest 500. So the smallest 500 is 500. Add and subtract half of it, that is 250. So 21,000, add or subtract depending on what we want to calculate. Now this was a star thing. Find the maximum number of females that could be attending the match. Now the total number of people is basically male plus female. So female is total minus male. In order to get a maximum value of female, T should be maximum. The total should be maximum. And M should be minimum. But we won't take 36,500. We would take one lesser. So this is 36,499. We do the subtraction, and this is the answer. So that was a good question. Now, again, I'm emphasizing on this. 2 papers or 3 papers are there on YouTube. The other ones are in Google Classroom. Now, this is a histogram. I think that's pretty basic. Yes, indices. Some people have a trouble with indices. A, x, b raised to power of 3. So a raised to power of 3, b and 3 multiplies. 27x to the power 4. 27 can be written as 3 cube. So this is a cube, x raised to power of 3b, 27 x raised to power of 4. We compare the constant with the constant. We compare the x term with the x term. That's the game. A cube is 3 cube. Since the bases are the same, the powers are equal. Actually, the powers are the same, the bases are equal. Over here, the bases are the same, powers are equal. So therefore, the answer for A is 3. The answer for B is 4/3. Have a good look at it. Okay. Some people are asking this question, will you be uploading the class recording on YouTube? Yes, I'll be uploading it on YouTube. Don't worry about that. And someone has asked some other question. Okay, that is A levels, because they also have an exam very soon. Chalaji, let's move on. A is the point -23, B is the point 47. Find the coordinates of the midpoint. It's the average of the x coordinate. It's the average of the y coordinate. L is the locus of point that are equidistant from A and B. We know that if we have 2 points, this is A, this is B, and we want a line that is halfway between the two, what do we draw? We draw a perpendicular bisector. Now, what's the concept of perpendicular bisector? Use the midpoint. That's already over here. Calculate the gradient of this line, that is AB. So the gradient of the perpendicular will be negative reciprocal. Remember this word, flip, change the sign. If it's positive, this one will become negative, and vice versa. And apply the concept of y is equals to mx plus c, and you get this answer. Question number 27. This is vectors. And let me focus on the last part. Now the question says OABC is a parallelogram. So OABC is a parallelogram. OA is 2A. So this is 2A, this is 2A, because it's a property of a parallelogram. Opposite sides are parallel as well as equal. This is OC, this is AB. So these two are also equal. M is the midpoint of BC. Where is M? there it is. That means if this whole thing is 2A, so OM is A and MB is also A. T is the point on OB such that OT is to TB is 2 is to 1. OT is to TB, that's 2 is to 1. That means OT is to OB, it's 2 out of a total of 3. Now, first of all, this is what I've written over here. And OC is AB is 3C, that's same thing as here. CM is A, MB is A, CM is A, MB is A. First thing is OB. What is OB? OC plus CB is equals to OB. You have to find the shortest possible route. So that is 2A plus 3C. Express as simply as possible in terms of A and C, AM. So now what is AM? AM is this. That means AB till BM is AM. Now keep in mind, this was MB was A. But BM should be negative, not M, BM should be negative A. So therefore 3C plus negative A, that is the answer. We will write this thing as 3C minus A. Or we can write the A first and then the C, that's your choice. AT. Now, how can we find AT? So let me find TB first. TB is 1/3 of OB. And AT plus TB is AB. So first of all, OT is 2/3 OB. Now this I've done it some other way. OT, I'm using this much. It's 2/3 of OB. And then OA plus AT. So O till A till T, that's O till T. So now when I solved it initially, I'm thinking about using this triangle. And now when I'm doing it in front of you, I was thinking about this. Find TB. So AT plus TB is AB. It's the same thing. And now the last thing, show that ATM is a straight line. Now AT is given, AM is given. When it's a straight line ATM in coordinate geometry, this is called collinear points. But in terms of vectors, we have to prove that AT and TM are scalar multiple. One constant multiplied by the other. Or AT is to AM. Since we have AM, since we have AT, that's the best option. Now this looks already simplified. Over here, what can I do? Let me take LCM. Let me take this 1/3 common out. Let me also take this 2 common out. So it's 2/3 of minus A plus 3C. This AM is minus A plus 3C. Therefore, minus A plus 3C is AM. Therefore, one vector is a constant times the other. That means it's parallel vectors. So that is the story of the first paper 1/1, June 2023. So now I want you to just write individually or in the group if it's all good, or just put a reaction so that I know that you people are with me. The recording is still on. So I'm just waiting for you people. Okay, G. So let's move ahead to the next paper. That is this one. And now I'll just focus on the very, very important question. Now, this kind of question, even though it's easier, I don't want you people to take any risk. So we should be clear on exactly what we have to do. Now it says, write these numbers in order of size starting with the smallest. Now you can only compare if they all are in the same standard. That means either they all are in fractions. Now let me just double check if the recording is still on, because sometimes you have a doubt. And yes, it's all good, all on. It also says recording over there, and someone has recording. Yes, you people will be able to access the recording. Don't worry about that. Okay, so now Bismillah karte hain. So now it has to be of the same standard. So what I've done is that first of all, 0.65 is already in decimals, 62% is 0.62, 0.595 remains as 0.95, 11 over 20. This I'm writing like this. 11 divided by 2 is 5.5. 5.5 divided by 10, that is 0.55. Or any which way you convert it. And 5 over 8, you should remember these things. 5 over 8 is basically 48 plus 6. I mean, I do something in different ways, a totally different way. So 48 plus 2 divided by 80. So this answer is 48 and 6 plus 0.25. So basically, this is 50 over 80. So I have written 48 plus 2 over 80. And this answer is coming out to be 0.625. I've broken it up into many pieces. Just ignore that. So now when you look at it, which one is the smallest? The smallest one is 0.55, but write the original thing, 11 over 20. Next one is 0.595. Next one is 62%. So write 62%, not 0.62. Next one is 0.625. Write the original thing, 5 over 8. And the last one is 0.65. So that is in the order of size. Simple interest. Maya invests $480 at a rate of 2% per year, simple interest. Calculate the total amount of interest she receives at the end of 5 years. So the formula for simple interest is I is equals to PRT over 100. Just plug in the value. This is the interest at the end of 5 years. If they ask for the amount at the end of 5 years, this is just extra. If they ask for the amount at the end of 5 years, that is the original amount, that is the principal amount plus the interest, and that would be 448 if they ask for that. Okay, this is loci, nothing special. Scatter diagram. So people talked about scatter diagram a lot. I think it's one of the easiest thing. Ben walks for exercise. The scatter diagram shows the distance for 10 walks and the time each walk takes. So we have the distance, we have the time. Now it says, what type of correlation is this? It's a very simple rule. If the line is going like that, we say it has a positive slope. So we say it's a positive correlation. When a line has a negative slope, we say it has a negative correlation. And maybe if the points are scattered all around, you cannot figure it out. There is no correlation. So positive correlation, positive slope. Draw the line of best fit. Now it would vary from person to person. What my strategy is, that is, it won't be possible that all points would be lying on a same straight line because it's not theory, it's practical. Life is not perfect. So if some points are left, that means those points above the line and below the line should be the same. So in this case, it's 3, 3. It could have been 4, 3, or maybe 2, 1, something like that. So you draw a line in the best possible manner. Basically, the rule is that is of justice. You try to be as unbiased as possible. So whatever the number of points that are left at the top should be left at the bottom. And use your line of best fit to estimate the time Ben takes for a 5-kilometer walk. Go to 5 kilometer, touch the graph, touch the line, go left, read off the value. That's the answer. This is fractions. And yes, this one. The diagram shows a triangular prism. The cross section is a right angle isosceles triangle. Write down the number of planes of symmetry of the prism. Now, plane means a surface. That means if I cut it like this, the cross section, that will remain the same. So if there is a piece of paper like this, that can cut this thing. So that's like a plane of symmetry. Also, if I cut it this way, like this, these two are equal, isosceles. So if I draw something like this, that is another plane of symmetry. So I mean, it's kind of difficult to explain it over here. So if I like cross it this way, so this half and this half are exactly the same. So therefore, there are two lines of symmetry. Volume, very simple, cross-sectional area multiplied by length. Simultaneous, your choice, whether substitution or elimination. This one, again, something easy, do not underestimate. By writing each number correct to 1SF, estimate the value of 18.2. 18.2 lies between 10 and 20 because this is the second significant figure. So we have to write it till one significant figure. So 18 simply cannot become 1 and 2. It has to be a two-digit number. So 18, is it closer to 10 or 20? It's closer to 20. 0.395, this is the second significant figure. 0.39, is it closer to 0.40 or 0.30? It's closer to 0.40. So now 18.2 is written as 20. Cube is 20 into 20 into 20 divided by 0.40. So this I'm writing 2 cube into 10 cube. And this is division by 4 over 10. So that is 8. That is 1000. Division by 4 over 10, multiplication by 10 over 4. And this answer comes out to be 20,000. This one, a good question. Shape A and shape B are drawn on the grid. Describe fully the single transformation that maps A onto B. Now we can right away say, see that A is smaller, B is bigger. And look at this. This is 1 unit and this is 2 unit. So you know that the scale factor is 2. Is it positive? Is it negative? How do we know? It's the same orientation. It's not upside down. So definitely it's positive. So now how do you find the center of enlargement? Join corresponding points and draw the dotted line. It has to be actually dotted. And join corresponding points, at least draw 3 lines. It will all converge at one point. That is 1, -1. That is the center of enlargement. You will write the name. You will write the scale factor. You will write the center of enlargement. Draw the image of shape A after a rotation of 180 degrees about origin. I hope you remember 180-degree rotation is the same thing as enlargement with a scale factor of -1. Cook. That is the matrix for enlargement. So -1, 0, 0, -1 multiplied with AB. It's KA, KB. AB becomes -A, -B. Coordinates do not flip. They only change sign. So I took these coordinates and I flipped it. That's how this diagram is drawn. Arithmetic sequence, yeah, something like LCM HCF. Let's focus on this. Write 325 as a product of its prime factors. 325 is 25 into 13. 25 is 5 squared. 13 is 13. So that is 5 squared into 13. Now, the next one, this is an indices. X to the power n, y square. This is P. X to the power n minus 1, y raised to power of 4. This is Q. So what we do is that we write x to the power n. Let's say this is 5. So x to the power n minus 1, which will be 4. And this should be x power 1 over here. So n minus 1 plus 1 is exactly n. So x to the power n, I've written as x to the power n minus 1 into x to the power 1. Y square remains as y square. And x to the power n minus 1 remain as it is. Y to the power 4 is written as y square, y square. Find the highest common factor. Give your answer in terms of x, y, and n. So what's the rule for highest common factor? That is, out of these two, you choose the lowest one. So xn minus 1, xn minus 1, that is a factor. So just write that. Y square and y power 4. What is the factor? Y square. So that is the HCF. Inequality. I think this is also basic. Let me explain it. First of all, it says the lines, 3 lines in the shaded region are shown. Now, this shaded region was this whole thing on a 1 centimeter square grid. Now, this is x plus y is equals to 5, y is equals to 2x minus 1, and y is equals to -2. Actually, my bad. The shaded one is this thing. That is something else that is coming up. So now it says, find 3 inequalities which define this region. Now, this region is on top of the green line. So therefore, y is greater than or equal to -2. If it's a solid line, this is greater than or equal, lesser than or equal. If it's a dotted line, it's simply greater, simply lesser. Again, this region R is below the blue line. Y is less than or equal to 2x plus 1. This region R is below the red line. That is x plus y is equals to 5. So x plus y is less than or equal to 5. Keep in mind, very necessary, when we write the inequality, y should be on the left-hand side. Y and x both could also be on the left-hand side. The only exception is a vertical line, something like this, because that is only written in terms of x. That is an exception. Now it says another region R is defined by these inequalities. X plus y is less than or equal to 5. So we already have this line. It should be lower than this. and y is greater than or equal to 2x minus 1. That is the blue line, so it should be above the blue line. So it should be below the red and above the blue. That is a big open area, but we are bounding it. We are enclosing it. How? X is greater than or equal to 1. So I drew the purple line, and this line, I haven't labeled it, so let me label it. So this line is x is equal to 1. So now we are stuck over here. This is the triangle. And I think they're asking the area of the triangle. So 1 unit, 2 unit, 3 unit, that is the base. Perpendicular is this 1 unit. So therefore, half into base into height, that is the area. Kinematics, this one was basic. Functions was basic. Now matrices. People usually ask this question about matrices. Juan, Yawan, whatever the name is, sells gift bags containing soaps and candle. Red, blue. Matrix C shows the contents of a large gift bag and a small gift bag. So in a large gift bag, there are 6 soaps and 4 candles. A small gift bag has 2 soaps, 1 candle. Find how many more candles are in a large than in a small gift bag. So we are just talking about the candles. This is 4, this is 1, this comes out to be 3. This is just like a question of range that this asks in stats. That is highest value minus the lowest value. The mass of soap is 120 grams. Mass of candle is 60 grams. This matrix is given. Matrix M represents this information. N is equals to Cm. So we write RC, that is this one. We write M, that is this one. We multiply. What do we see? The red multiplies with the red. The blue multiplies with the blue. What is red? Soap. What is blue? Candle. That means there are 6 candles and the weight or mass is 120 each. There are 6 is soaps. There are 6 soaps weighing 120 grams each. There are 4 candles weighing 60 grams each. So when we multiply a row into a column, we get one number, that is 960. Then 2 into 120, 1 into 60, we get this thing. Now, what is this that I've done over here? Explain in detail. Is matrix multiplication possible? This is a 2 by 2 matrix. This is a 2 by 1 matrix. If these two are equal, multiplication is possible. How would the answer look like? 2 by 1. So 2 by 1, that means 2 elements would be like this, just like shown over here. 960 represents the mass of large. 300 represents the mass of small bag. Venn diagram. In the Venn diagram, shade the region representing A intersection B complement. So that is the blue region. This is B. This B complement is this, and this, but we are intersecting with A. The common thing with A, the overlapping with A. So that is this region and this region. B intersection C complement. So this is C. C complement is this, and this. But we are intersecting with B. So it's this thing and this thing. So blue region is there, red region is there. There is a union in the middle. So that means this. The final answer is this. Now, another question. One morning, 50 people visit a library. 35 of them, they borrow a book. 12 of them use a computer. 8 of them, they do not borrow a book or do not use a computer. They go on the outside. That means on the inside, all this thing should add up to 42. So now use a Venn diagram, or otherwise we will use a Venn diagram. Find the number of people who use a computer but do not borrow a book. That will come later on. What is unknown? This X is unknown. The common thing is unknown. So this is X. This is 35 minus X. This is books only. 12 minus X. This is computers only. So this should add up to 50, or this plus this add up to 42. So we find the value of X is 5. That means 35 minus 5, 30 read books only. 12 minus 5 is 7, not read, use computer only. What are they asking? Number of people who use a computer but not borrow a book. So this answer is 7. Expanded, simplify, that is easy. This is easy. Proportionality. Yes, let me explain this, because there were 3 variables involved. Y is directly proportional to W square. X is inversely proportional to W. So y is directly proportional to w square, y is equals to kw square. X is inversely proportional to w, therefore x is h over w. Make sure you use two different constants. You cannot use the same constant. English has 26 alphabets. X and y are variables, so 2 down, 24 are left. H and k are two more constants, so you still have 22. So use h and k. That's the bottom line. The relationship is w is 10, y is 5, x is 0.4. So when you have this, y is kw square. So use y, use w. You find k as 5 over 100. You have x, you have y. X is h over w. X is 0.4, w is 10. So h comes out to be 4. So one equation is y is equals to 5 over 100 w square. I'm not using decimals, I'm using fractions. X is equals to 4 over w. Now what do we need? We need y in terms of x. We need to get rid of w. So make w the subject, that's 4 over x. Write it over here. So therefore 5 over 100, actually the working is here, 5 over 100 into 4 over x whole square, 5 over 100 into 16 over x square. It simplifies 4 at the top, 5x square at the bottom. Probability. There are 10 cards in a set. Each card shows either a square or a triangle. So there is a square, there is a triangle. And then according to the colors, they are either green color or red color. This 3 means there are 3 green square cards. This 1 means there is 1 red square card. This 4 means there are 4 triangular green cards and 2 triangular red cards. So 3 plus 1, 4. There are 4 square. 4 plus 2, 6. There are 6 triangles. 3 plus 4, 7. There are 7 green. 1 plus 2 is 3. There are 3 red cards. So now Ken takes a card at random from the set, notes the color and replaces it. That means the total is unchanged. He then takes a second card at random from the set, notes the color and replaces it. Find the probability both cards shows a green shade. So how many green are there? 7. Denominator 10, denominator 10, number of green does not change. 7 into 7, 49. 10 into 10, 100. That's the answer. Irina takes 2 cards at random from the set of 10 without replacement. Find the probability that both cards shows the same shape. So 10 becomes 9 because there is a reduction. 10 becomes 9. If both are square, how many squares are there? 4. How many triangles are there? 6. So there were 4 squares in the beginning. Since you took out a square, 3 are left. There were 6 triangles in the beginning. You took out 1, 5 are left. 4 into 3, 12. 6 into 5, 30. Denominator, write it as ones, 90. 12 plus 30, 42. 42 over 90, that is the answer. And that completes this particular paper. So now, let me just look at the messages. And I'll read out the messages without taking any names. Estimation a little bit. Someone says, sir, any shading that we have to do it with pencil. Yes. And the lines that we mark on the graph, that also has to be in pencil. Now, let me show you the rubric, the statement at the beginning of the paper so that it makes easier for you. Now read over here. Now, everyone who's attending, I'm reading those messages. And someone is saying, Acha. Someone is saying, sir, can you slow down a bit? I can understand that. Sometimes I just get really emotional doing things at the last minute. So I can do that. Linear inequalities, I just did one question. Estimation, significant figures, linear inequalities. Okay. Okay, then there are some A-level things. Okay. ठीक है. Okay. Now let's move on. Now, first of all, let me emphasize the things that I need to related to estimation and all these things. So let me just Tracing paper, a lot of people ask this question. Tracing paper is allowed, but personally, I never use it. I have never made my students use it. I mean, as such, there is no need as such. And I think you cannot take anything on your own. If you need it, if you want to try an experiment, they will give it to you. So now coming back to this. So we have done two papers, gone over two papers of June. And the reason why I was going fast is that I assume that you people have gone over all the lectures, all the videos of this past paper. If you have not, till maybe like after the class is over, spend like 1 hour or something, and then you will have a very good idea. You may use tracing paper, it's not a must. And it's not about taking it. I mean, you will need geometrical instrument. I think they will provide it. I prefer not to use tracing paper. That's my personal preference. The choice is up to you. Now, this time, I'll just go to the questions. That is about, let me explain bar chart. So I'll try to slow down a bit. Yasmin asked 20 people how many pets they own. The results are shown in the bar chart. And one more thing, once I am done with this lecture, inshallah, I'll be uploading it. So instead of doubling the speed, you can like reduce the speed to half or 0.75 and then listen to it also. Frequency on the vertical axis. Categories, whether the categories are the number of pets, whether they are color. Let me give you an example: red, blue, green, yellow, and purple. These are the corresponding frequencies, and they should add up to 20. Find the range, the maximum value. The maximum value, what? It's this 4 and minus 0. So basically, the maximum number of pets, the minimum number of pets, that comes out to be 4. Find the fraction of 20 people. Fraction, probability, chance, percentage, relative frequency. They all mean the same thing. Find the fraction of 20 people who own 3 pets. So 3 pets are actually, 3 pets is owned by 5 people. So this is 5 out of 20. No need to reduce it. Let me focus on estimation once again. Now, people have asked 2 things. That is over here, you're not using a calculator. So this significant figure thing has to be according to whatever is written over here. It's not based upon calculator. So what we do is that writing each number correct to 1 SF. Now let's focus on this. 53.7. This is the first significant figure, second significant figure, third significant figure. So basically just ignore this, focus on the second SF so that we can round the first SF. Now 53, the second SF could be 50 or 60. Either it remains as it is or it rounds up. So therefore, 50 or 60, which one is it closer to? It's closer to 50. That is why we write 50. 2.61. So now the second significant figure, 2.6. Is it closer to 2.0 or 3.0? It's closer to 3.0. Then 7.48. That is the second significant figure. So 7.48, is it closer to 7.0 or 8.0? It's closer to 7.0. So now someone who said that I should just go a little bit slow. Is this comfortable? And number pattern. People, I think I should do everything in one night, right? Okay, people, instead of giving me a wish list of what to do or what not to do, if it's a 2023 question, that will appear. So don't you worry about that. Even if I have time, I'll just go to that 2022 paper also. And let me just think one thing again. So now this is 50, this is 3, this is 7. And over here, 53.7 becomes a 50. 2.61 becomes a 3, 7.48 becomes a 7. Naturally, they would give you numbers in such a way so that it will all reduce down very comfortably. So this is 50, this is 10, 50 over 10 is 5. So now is this thing okay? I just want some acknowledgement so that I know that I have a good understanding that everyone is following this. So I'm just going through the individual messages also. And one thing is there, let me just focus on this. Okay, Ji. So let me move on. So now it says centimeter to millimeter, nothing special. Scatter diagram. Yeah, let's look at this question. Question number, this thing. So now the question says, the four exterior angles of a pentagon are such and such. And then it says, calculate the size of the remaining exterior angle. Now the thing is, sum of exterior angle of any polygon is 360 degrees, irrespective of how many sides it has, irrespective of what is the number, whether it's regular or irregular. That is the thing. So it doesn't make a difference. So now, basically, we add it all up, we add it, equal it to 360, and you get the answer. Now it says, calculate the interior angle of a regular decagon. Decagon, like the word decade, 10 years. Decagon, 10 sides. Sum of interior angle is n minus 2 into 180. Therefore, each interior angle of a regular polygon, since they are equal, we divide by the number of sides. So therefore, 10 minus 2 into 180 divided by 10, we get the answer as 144. Something, yeah, this is one question that people ask the most. That is, look at this question. Write 36 as a product of its prime factors. So 36 is 4 into 9. 4 can be written as 2 into 2 and 3 into 3, that is 9. Now the thing is that 48 is 4 into 12. That's written as 2 raised to power of 4 into 3. So now the thing is, what are they asking? They are asking this thing, that the LCM. So what is the LCM? Now do not confuse it with the HCF. That is over here, that out of 2 power 4 and 2 square, we choose the higher one. And then out of 3 and 3 square, we again choose the higher one. So therefore, the LCM is 2 power 4 into 3 square, which is 144. Now it says bus A leaves the bus station every 36 minutes. Bus B leaves the station at every 48 minutes. Now, first of all, in the first part, they only asked about 36, but because of the second part, I did this thing and I wrote the LCM over here. The two buses both leave the bus station at 9:30. Find the next time when the two buses leave the bus station together. So it's a difference of 144 minutes. So 9:30 till 10:30, that's 1 hour. 10:30 till 11:30, that's 2 hours. So 144 minutes is 60 plus 60 plus 24. That's 2 hours, 24 minutes. 10:30 plus 24, that's 11:55. Now over here, I've explained the concept. 36, 72, 108, 144, 180. These are multiples of 36. 48, 96, 144. These are multiples of 48. So the very first lowest common multiple, because there will be many, many infinite more multiples, is what? 144. That's why it's called LCM, lowest common multiple. So we have to use this 144 minutes. We have to add it to 10:30 in a technical manner. And this answer comes out to be 11:54. Now, again, some people, they ask for inequalities. So now let's focus on inequalities. Now the thing is, the region, let me first enlarge this. The region R is defined by such and such. X lies between 1 and 3. Y lies between 2 and 3. Y is greater than or equal to x over 2 plus 1. So now find and label the region R. So I should draw the line x is equals to 1, x is equals to 3. That is what I've drawn. This is the line x is equals to 1. This is the line x is equals to 3. I should draw the line y is equals to 2, y is equals to 3. So the blue line is y is equals to 2. This blue line is y is equals to 3. So it should be somewhere in this rectangle, but y is greater than or equal to x over 2 plus 1. So just join 2 points. You get this line. It should be above this line and inside this rectangle. So therefore, the region is this thing that I'm shading. So we leave the region unshaded. So therefore, this is the region R. 5 sides, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is proportionality. Now let's look at this kinematics question. The question says, the diagram shows the speed time graph of a car's journey. And it says, calculate the acceleration of the car in the first 10 seconds of the journey. So change in speed over change in time, that is acceleration. The car travels 700 meters in t seconds. So that's a total of t seconds. Find the value of t. It's a trapezium. This difference is t minus 10. This whole thing is t. Sum of parallel sides multiplied by height. Height is 20. That equals to 700. Naturally, it's paper one without the calculator. Matrix multiplication, factorization. Let me also look at this thing. Simplify 2c square minus 8c. Now, what my strategy is that I simplify numerator separately, denominator separately. So what's there to simplify? Take c common out, take 2 common out. It's simplified. The denominator, that is middle term factorization. Always double check that these two should multiply to give you this. Always double check that these two brackets should be the same. So now when we divide, these two cancel out, we are left with 2c over 2c plus 3. Functions, inverse, solving a function equation. Again, a vector one. So I'll just reduce it. I want you to look at this. Try this question out if you haven't tried before. And the image is right over here in front of you. So when the video comes, pause, solve, and then look at the solution. And one more paper of 2023, and then we will go to 2022. So now over here, this is the last variant, and this video is there in the YouTube. Workout and all this thing. Now, this one was a nice question. The rectangular split into square of 2 different sizes. Now, the original question, it does not have this thing. So this was the original. Now, the squares are of different sizes. So what do we do? What we can do is that, let me grab a pen and let me draw a line like this, all the way straight like this. Let me draw another line like this. The third line is already drawn like this. So now let me draw some vertical lines like this. And then like this. And another line that goes this way. And something like this, something like this. So basically what I'm doing is that I have created 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So there was 7 over here. I can also do multiplication. There is 3 over here. 7 into 3 is 21. Out of which, how many are shaded? 5. Now all the squares have equal size. So basically, unequal big squares, you split it down into like 1 by 1 square. So 5 over 21 is the answer. Then we have something like transformation. This one was discussed in class, nothing special. For some people, if they have not attended the workshop, let me explain it for them. Describe fully the single transformation that maps P onto Q. So P onto Q, it looks like 90-degree clockwise rotation about origin. How do I check it's about origin? This is 5, 1. After the rotation, this is 1, -5. Therefore, AB becomes BA, the coordinates flip, and the new y coordinate changes sign. So 5, 1 becomes 1, 5. The new y coordinate changes sign. So this is perfect. That means it's about the origin. Now, shape B is an enlargement of shape A. So shape B is not drawn. Shape A is drawn. And the center of enlargement is 5, 5. Center of enlargement is this one, 5, 5. And then it says the area of shape B is 27. Draw shape B on the grid. Now, first of all, it says somewhere that this is drawn on a 1 centimeter square grid. Now, look at the diagram. What do you see? What is the area of this figure? And then look at the question. What about the 27 thing? What's the correlation? Think about it. So now what we observe is that the area of that shape is 3 centimeters square. So that is 1, that is 2, that is 3. The area of the object, the original thing is 3. The area of the image is 27. The scale factor is k. The rule is area of image is k square times area of object because it's a similar figure. So that's the rule that we apply. Therefore, k comes out to be 3. So now this is C and this is the figure. And we want to draw a figure that's 3 times the size and 9 times the area. So just focus on one point, that is R. Go down 1 unit and go down 2 unit left. If the scale factor is 3, then go down 1, 2, 3 units. And instead of 2 left, go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's all you need. So this hip hop from one placing to the other, that is all that you need. So jump and all this thing. So now this is 2 units. So make it go this way, 6 units. This is 2 units. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 1 unit. It becomes 3. This 1 unit becomes 3 again, becomes 3 again. This 1 unit becomes 3. Just join it and you get the thing. So this is the figure, that is B. Something like another estimation thing. I want you to have a look at it. Now I won't speak. It's obvious. Just have a good look at it. So now let's move on. This is inequality. This is simultaneous. Yes, I think someone asked a question similar to this. Maybe it's this one. Maybe it's similar to this. I think that was 2022. So now the question says a list of 8 numbers has a mean of 12. So if 8 numbers has a mean of 12, that means 8 into 12, that's the sum of those 8 numbers. And then it says the sum of first 5 numbers has a mean of 9. Okay, so 5 into 9, that's 45. Find the sum of the remaining 3 numbers. So there is 1, 2, 3, just like term 4, 5. This is 96. And the first 5 is 45. All of them is 96. So 96 minus 45, this is the sum of the remaining 3 numbers. Loci, let me, first of all, let's read this question. I want you to read it first. So now over here, it says that measure the angle ABC. So of course, you would have a protractor, unlike me, because I'm not using a protractor over here. So this is A, this is B, this is C. So this angle, I'm just giving you a wild guess, this is 50 degrees. Using compass and straight edge only, construct the perpendicular bisector of AC. So construct the perpendicular bisector of AC. You open the compass to more than half, draw an arc, draw an arc. Now put the metallic point over here, draw the arc with the same opening, join the points. This is a perpendicular bisector. Now it says on the diagram, shade the region inside the triangle such that that's nearer to A than to C. So perpendicular bisector is equidistant between A and C. So nearer to C is this region, closer to A, above this perpendicular bisector, but inside this triangle. So it should be anywhere over here in this trapezium kind of thing. But at the same time, it should be more than 6 centimeters from B. So exactly 6 centimeters from B should be a circle like this. But more than 6 centimeters should be beyond this pink arc. So it should be inside the trapezium, beyond the pink arc, and that is what you get. Now, someone was asking about sequences. Coincidentally, we found a question, and let's look at it very closely. Now, let me do you a favor. That means let me add a page, and dotted paper is good. And let me solve. No, I need some space. So I need to add the same size page with the same question. Okay, so now this is blank. And let me just remove this so that there is no confusion. Okay. So now we have this thing. I hope I did not remove the wrong thing. No. This is 15, 16. This is 15, 16. So we are interested in 15. Now it says the second term of a linear sequence is 28. The fifth term of a linear sequence is 16. Find the first, third, and fourth term. So this was also a very nice question. So now let me write T1, T2, T3, T4, and T5. The second term of a linear sequence is 28, and the fifth term is 16. Now we know that in a linear sequence, which is known as arithmetic sequence or arithmetic progression, there is a constant difference. So we add a D, we add a D, we add a D, and then we get this thing. That means between 28 and 16, there are 3 Ds. And these Ds are negative because the numbers are decreasing. So let me find the difference between 28 and 16. This comes out to be 12. 12 divided by 3, this comes out to be 4. Numbers are decreasing. Therefore, the common difference is negative 4. So there are 3 things that I've written. The first thing, the difference between 28 and 16 is 12. The second thing, the difference is 4. So 12 is divided into 3 Ds. So 12 is equals to 3D. So you can also write it like this. 12 is equals to 3D. Therefore, D is 4. But since the numbers are decreasing, D is negative 4. That means this is 28. So 28 minus 4 is 24. 24 minus 4 is 20. 20 minus 4 is 16. Perfect. And the next one should be above because that's the first one. So therefore, this is 32. So this is 32. This is 24. This is 20. That's how we get this answer. Now, acknowledge it on the WhatsApp. I'll just open up the chance for you to write. So now you can just write it and just let me know that if this is all good, all clear. Okay, Ji. I'm waiting for it. And people in the other group can write, people can write it thing. Okay, so now let's focus on part B. Now, part B is something that is, there are first 5 terms of a different sequence. So now this is totally different. So let me write over here. These are the first 5 terms of a different sequence. And what's exactly there? First of all, it's 3, 9, 19, 33, 51. The first thing, the difference between 3 and 9, 9 and 19, 19 and 33, 33 and 15, I'll write. So 3 and 9, the difference is 6. So that is 6 over here. 9 and 19, the difference is 10. 19 and 33, that is how much? That is 14. 14 at 33 and something is 51. I think that's 18. Now it says, find an expression for the nth term. Now, this is not a linear sequence. So linear means this thing, this is not an arithmetic sequence. Therefore, it has to be a quadratic sequence, most probably. How would we be sure? When we calculate the difference between these two. So 6 and 10, the difference is 4, difference is 4, difference is 4. Since the second difference is constant. So since the second difference is constant, therefore, yes, it's a quadratic sequence. That is the thing. Now I have given you few formulas. Let me just go to that worksheet and open it up for you. So that was over here, the worksheet, and then number pattern, it was somewhere over here, and that was the front cover of that. And that's the one. O-level math workshop, number pattern, quadratic sequence. This is an square plus bn plus c. N is 1, T1 is a plus b plus c. That is the first step. N is equals to 2, T2, 4a plus 2b plus c. So this is just by plugging this thing. So a quadratic sequence will be of this form. A definitely will have to have a value. B could be 0, B could be positive, negative. C could be 0, positive, negative. A could be 0. A could not be 0, but it could be positive, negative. Now the first term is a plus b plus c. The difference between T2 and T1, the second term and the first term, that is 3a plus b. And the difference between T3 and T2 is 5a plus b, and the second difference is 2a. So let me write it. This is what we need. So let me, I hope this thing will work. First term is a plus b plus c. Let me write it. So therefore, it's right over here. So let me highlight this. And let me write over here. T1 is a plus b plus c. So this is T1. Then we have the difference between T2 and T1. That is the 6 over here. That is what? That is this thing, which is 3a plus b. That's right over here. So this is 3a plus b. So T2 minus T1, that is 3a plus b. And the last thing, that is this for the constant difference. This constant difference is 2a, the last line. So this constant difference, the second difference is 2a. So these are the three things that we need. Now let's start working. First of all, this is equation 1, this is equation 2, this is equation 3. Remember it. As soon as you get the paper, write it. So now this is T1 is a plus b plus c. So we have a plus b plus c equals to 3. That is equation 1. 3a plus b equals to 6. That is equation 2. So equation 1, equation 2, equation 3. They all come in a line. And 2a equals to 4. That is equation 3. So first of all, from equation 3, you find a is 2. You plug in this one. So 3 into 2 plus b equals to 6. Therefore, b comes out to be 0. Perfectly good. Plug both of them in equation 1. So a plus b plus c equals to 3. A is 2, b is 0 actually. C is unknown equals to 3. Therefore, c comes out to be 1. Therefore, Tn is an square plus bn plus c, and an square is tn is 2n square plus 1. That is the sequence. Now, if someone has a very good intuition and they can predict it without any of this working, that is perfectly fine. But for most people, for the common masses, this is what you need to do. So now this is cumulative frequency, lower quartile, above quartile, upper quartile, and so on. This is basic factorization. Now, this is the question that some people, they asked about it. So let's look at this question. And let me solve this question for you. So let me add a page and let me solve it fresh for you. First, go through it and read the question. So now the question says, diagram A shows a sector of a circle center D, radius 3/4 y. The obtuse angle EDF is equals to 6x degrees. So this is the sector of a circle. This is the radius. This is 6x. Let me write over here. This is 360 degrees minus 6x degrees. Now it says this is the information for this. Then the information for this is there is an angle x degrees. There is a radius y. And over here, this one was the radius. This is for this information, this particular diagram. Diagram A, diagram B. The length of the major arc EF. So this is the major arc EF. So let me mark it. So this thing over here, which I'm just like pinpointing, this is the major arc. And the small arc, the minor arc, they have not used the term minor. They simply said arc, that is this. One is 9 times the other. Show that x is equals to 20. Very simple question, provided you know your basics, on which I have emphasized a lot. So now the arc length EF, do it separately. So the arc length EF, the orange thing. So let me use the same color. So EF over here, that is equals to 360 minus 6x divided by 360 into 2 into pi into r, which is 3/4y. And then we have the blue thing, that is arc length QR. This is equals to x over 360 into 2 into pi into r, which is y. Now it's saying the red one is 9 times the blue one. So the red one, and how many marks is it? 3 marks. So 360 minus 6, just remove the degree sign, no issue, over 360 into 2 into pi into 3/4 into y. This equals to x over 360 into 2 pi into y. Now over here, we have this thing. And then we can do the cancellation. This is 360, this is 360. It will cancel out. This is 2 pi, this is y. This is 2 pi, this is y. So now when we do the calculation, we are left with what? We are left with 360 minus 6x. We are left with 3/4. We are left with x. So 360 minus 6x into 3/4 is equals to x. Just double check if anything is left. So therefore, I'll cross multiply 3 into 360 minus 6x is equals to 4 times x. So let me think about it. Should I multiply or is there more to simplify? I think let me transfer this like this, 3 into 360 minus 3 into 6x, that is equals to 4x. So this is 3/4 y. Let me double check. Yes, all good. Now this is 3 into 360. 3 into 6 is 18. So this is 18x plus 4x. That is 22x. I feel that I've made some kind of a mistake over here. I'm just looking at the difference. Oh, I forgot the 9. I forgot the 9. They are not equal. That is why I'm making the small mistake. So yes, they are equal, but one is 9 times the other. So I totally forgot the 9. So that's what happens. So let me write this 9 over here. So there is 9 over here. And now when I do the calculation, this is 360 minus 6x. This is into 3/4 equals to 9x. So now cross multiply. So therefore 360 into 3 minus 6x into 3. This is 9x into 4. So therefore 360 into 3,000. Actually leave it as it is for right now. This is 360 into 3. This is 6x into 3, that is 18. 18 plus 9 4s are 36. So that is 54x. So make 360x the subject, that is 360 into 3 divided by 54. And then you can simplify and you find the value of x is 20. Now look at my working that I've done early on. So over here, what I've done is that there is a difference between the two. This 3/4 I've taken to the other side. I've written this thing as 4/3. So instead of multiplying on this side, I simplified on this side, and this working is in fact easier. Now we are coming to the next part. That is, find the value of y when the area of the sector equals to 20. Now it was not very obvious, but we have to use the value x is equals to 20. Because if x was still unknown, how would we be able to solve it? So sector QPR, that's a small one. So that area equals to theta, which is x over 360. X is 20, by the way. 20 over 360 into pi into r square. R is y, right? And area is 2 pi. So 2 pi. 20 over 360. I'll simplify it now. This is pi into y squared. So what gets cancelled out? Cancelled out. The pi gets cancelled out. The 0 gets cancelled out. So this is 2 into 36 divided by 2 is y squared. 2 also gets cancelled out. Y squared is 36. Y is positive 6. Why? Because it's the radius. So that is the value of y. This comes out to be 6 centimeter if you want to write the units. Now this is multiplication. So now over here, it says x3, 2 and x plus 1 multiplying with this thing is this much. So let me add a page so that we can see clearly what was the original question. The original question is like this. So there are 4 terms that we see. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this one is 4. And there are 2 terms over here, that is this and this. So we take this row, we multiply with this column, we get this thing. We take this row, we multiply with this column, and we get this thing. And that is what we get over here. So this is x into x plus 1 plus 3 into 2. This is equals to 2x plus 6. And then we have 2 into x minus 1 plus x plus 1 into 2. This equals to 1. This equation equals to this. We simplify, we get this thing. And then this equals to this. That's the second equation. When we are out to solve this, make sure always take common whenever there is a possibility of taking common. So we took common, we get 2 values. And then we use x is equals to 3 because it says x is greater than 0. So we rejected this answer, we accept this answer, and then we simplify and we get the thing. Now, this one was also a nice question of set notation. It says a shop sells heads and scarves and gloves. A group of 40 people are asked which item they buy in the shop. Some of the results are shown in the Venn diagram. 2 people buy all 3 items. So that means all 3, this 2 goes over here. Those people that buy both a hat and a scarf also buy gloves. That means anyone buying hat and scarf also buys gloves. So that is this. That means there is no one buying a hat and scarf only. So hat and scarf only, this thing is 0. This is blank. 4 people buy exactly 2 items. So exactly 2 items is either this or this or this. So therefore, this is 0, that was given. This is 0 from this statement, and this 4 goes over here. And if I add up all these 3, what happens? That 5 is left over there. Actually, 5 is already drawn, I think. Yeah, it was already drawn. Work out S intersection H union G whole complement. H union G, the whole thing complement is this 10 and this 5, that is 15. But we are intersecting with S. So the common one with S is this 10, and that is the answer. And another question of vectors, a very nice question. That is OAB is a triangle. P lies on AB such that AP is to PB is 2:3. AP is to PB is 2:3. OA is 4A, OA is 4A, OP is 3A plus 2B, that's given. Find AP. So OA plus AP is OP. OA plus AP is OP, make AP the subject, insert the terms, you get this answer. OB, how can I find OB? I can find OB based upon the fact that either I find PB, which is 3/5 of the whole thing, or the ratio of AP is to PB is this much. Did I find AP? Yes, I found AP. So if AP is 2, this is 3. So I've done this working over here. AP is to PB is 2:3. PB is 3 over 2 AP, and we get this fraction. So since I have found PB, therefore OP plus PB is OB. OP plus PB is OB. This is what we get. Now the last part is the good one, but only for 1 mark because it was difficult. Q is a point on OA such that QP is parallel to OB. So QP is parallel to OB. If 2 vectors are parallel, they are scalar multiples of one another. So the thing over here was that if this triangle and this big triangle, they are similar, because if these 2 are parallel, they become similar triangles. The ratio of small to the big is 2:5. So the ratio of this thing should be 2/5 of this whole thing. So we have OB, that's right over here. So 2/5 of OB is the answer. So that was very deep knowledge that was applied based upon similarity. So like in 1.5 hours, we went over every single paper 1 of the year 2023. So I think that's a lot of practice, I think. So let me just complete the recording. And this is the first recording, and then I'll ask you some questions. So let me finish the recording right over here. So I'll stop the recording here and wish you the best of luck for tomorrow's exam.